While we're inching closer to fall, still plenty of time to enjoy your garden. And Perry Stothard from Classic Landscapes and Ellerslie Gift and Garden joins us this morning. Good morning, Perry. How you doing? Nice to see you again.
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Mike.
So this is the time of the year where, regardless of what kind of property you have, you'd much rather be golfing or riding your bike or doing some things recreationally. Not everybody loves taking care of their garden and their property. So today, we're going to talk about low-maintenance gardening. What exactly is low-maintenance gardening?
Well, like you said, it just sounds like less work, and I think that's for most people what it means. They don't want to be able to, or don't have the capacity or desire, maybe like you said, to spend a lot of time in the yard. Maybe you prefer the golf game and getting those wedge shots into the green. But the idea that first things first, you start off with the right plant in the right place. I think a lot of times people think about low maintenance as shrubs are sort of the antithesis of that, or extra plants in the yard. So if you have more plants, you have more maintenance. And that's not always the case. I mean, plants do a very good job of taking care of themselves, specifically speaking. So like I said, if you start off with the right plant in the right location, actually having more plants will provide fewer areas, that weeds can grow, and the plants themselves will fill in those areas. And you don't have to be out there every, 35 seconds pruning them up. They'll just be, good on their own with some very, minor attention.
So Perry, give us an example of what some of these low maintenance plants might be.
Yeah, some of my favorite shrubs are Diablo 9-barks, or 9-barks in general. I use the term bulletproof, and that's not a term I use all the time, but 9-barks are a great plant. We do a lot of commercial projects too, where the maintenance isn't as high as it would be at your home, and the care isn't quite the same. Parking lots, maybe difficult streets with hot asphalt in the summer. And they do very well in these areas, and park areas, again, where the minute-to-minute maintenance isn't as high-end as what it would be in your yard. And so any range of 9-barks are really good. Spireas, another variety, Potentillas, these all do very well. It is important to understand that it does require a little bit of effort. I do mean just a little bit in terms of watering and things like that when we first plant them to get those different trees or shrubs established. But once you get your plants established, again, they're extremely adaptable, and they do very well in our climate. Again, if we start off with them in the right location, things like full sun and that kind of stuff for different kinds of plants or whatever it might be.
So we're getting towards the middle of August, beginning of September, Perry. Is it still a good time to actually be planting these shrubs and or trees?
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually plant right up until the snow flies. So generally speaking, any plants you'd get at this point are going to be in pots. Or perhaps basketed if it's a larger tree with burlap and wire wrapped around it. And again, we can do it right up until the snow flies. I'm not suggesting you wait until the snow flies, but you definitely have, I'd say, a good 2 or 3 months left of planting season. 3 might be on the outside a little bit, but in a general case, it's the same kind of thing. You don't change your system at all. You're going to make sure you plant at least twice the width of whatever pot you have, whether it's potted tree or shrub, or again something that's basketed. And make sure it's about the same depth. Just use some nice soil around. You may want to add some things that we've talked about in the past, like fish soil, peat moss. Will add to the overall health of the soil, and that'll get you a really good start.
So you talked about trees and shrubs as low maintenance options. What about some other low maintenance options that are necessarily, well, maybe like fences or other things that are structural?
Yeah, hardscaping, just like how it sounds. And so we talk about fencing. Fencing is a big one. Even there's vinyl fencing options out there right now that you don't have to stain every few years to keep it looking good, and will look good for a long time, again, without you painting them. Hardscaping, we talk about pavers and patios, expanding a patio area, or maybe using some flagstone to cut down on the amount of turf maybe that you have to mow, or to help with some of those garden bed areas. And again, adding hardscaping, patterned paving stone or whatever it might be, is going to add to the elegance of an overall yard, but also cut down on the general maintenance, because obviously, as we can understand, when you're talking about decks and fences for the most part, as well as patios, the maintenance levels aren't quite the same. You don't have to water them, obviously. And so starting off with a good product, and there's many composite decking options out there right now that, again, really reduce the maintenance, so you can just sit on the deck with friends and enjoy your time, for sure.
Sounds good to me. Lots of good advice as always, Perry. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
For more great ideas on how you can make your garden and your backyard, your front yard, the envy of the neighborhood, check out Classic Landscaping and Ellerslie Gift and Garden. They're located at 100th Street and 6th Avenue. More information, there's some information on your screen right now.